Hi, I'm Dr. Lance Knaub. Welcome to Moving Mountains. I'm here today with Shaheed Colen, CEO of Financial Fitness, and also he's got a new venture, Shah's Little Learners. Shaheed, welcome. So glad to have you here. So glad
thank you, sir.
You made it. We've only met more recently, at an event in Philly with your friend Will Little, who
Will Latif, right?
I consider a friend as well now. I mean, amazing speaker, and so glad we connected. So for those listening that don't know about you, and I know you've got a lot of entrepreneurial ventures, including real estate, all kinds of things. You're an amazing guy. Tell us a little bit about you personally and your journey and how you've gotten to this point.
Wow, journey. Oh, well, my journey started, of course, when I was just born.
Yeah,
right?
Talk to us.
We got to go back to the beginning. And me, I was born in West Philadelphia.
Okay.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah.
Right. And my mom was 21, my dad was 21, so young parents at the time, and it was a struggle. Coming from the neighborhood where my dad, he was in and out of the street life.
Yeah.
Gang activity, shooting, selling drugs, everything that comes with that, right? And did some time in jail.
Yeah.
So it was just me and my mom, single mom, growing up, and it was rough, and going from house to house. It was tough. I look at it now like, wow. At that time, going through it is almost like it was easier to kind of block it out, because I was also suppressing and blocking out my life without a father, right?
Yeah.
So that was just something else that I just blocked out and got on with it, right? And just looking back on it now, it's like, wow, that was just wow, it was a rough time. So dealing with that, but something happened when I was, I would say, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right. My grandmother lived across the street.
Okay.
From where me and my mom was staying with my aunt, and I'm the only child.
Oh, I'm an only child, okay.
And at that time, I was my grandmother's only grandchild.
Okay.
So, she loved me to death. And my grandmother was around 42
Okay.
when I asked to live with her, because my grandmother, her property was across the street where she owned her own store.
Okay.
So she was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
She had a great store, a great building, a great house. I mean, the house was amazing upstairs. It had mirrors all around, and she had a jacuzzi in her bathroom.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I want to stay here.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to going from house to house.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother gave me everything. She treated me real nice. And things changed for me at that time. It gave me structure.
Okay.
Gave me structure, which I greatly needed. And I felt like I was loved. I was cared for.
Right.
And everything went on from there. The good things started to happen in my life. And for my grandmother, because she was an entrepreneur, she showed me certain things. She talked to me always about the value of $1.
Yeah.
Right? Not wasting money, but saving it.
Right.
Working, putting in a good, having a good structure and work ethic to earn money, and I think everything was going to be handed to me, because I was a lazy kid, because
That's
of course
more nature. Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that.
Because lazy, because my grandmother, she gave me everything,
Right.
all of the toys, everything that I wanted, she gave it to me. I was spoiled, so I was a little lazy. But one thing she did do on Sunday, she would have me do chores.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had me vacuum the steps and clean the bathroom and the kitchen. And although I didn't really want to do it, but she said, hey, if you do this, I'll pay you. Okay. And she paid me nice. She gave me $10.
Okay.
And I was like, yes. So every Sunday I really look forward to that. And just looking back on it, it really did set a foundation and a structure for me around money as I got older and was able to understand it. Again, she ran her own business, so at nights, when I would see her doing her books, I would see her counting her money and putting her money up. She would take me to it was a warehouse called Jetro's.
Okay.
Where basically it was a wholesale and warehouse for people who had their own stores.
Okay.
To buy things in bulk,
Okay.
kind of like Costco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she would take me with her. Hey, yeah, this is my grandson, and she was proud. But I also would see her buying the necessities for her business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she had me with her, and I began a business mindset from that.
Mm-hmm.
So, fast forward a few years, I was a teenager, And at the time, I had a girlfriend, and she was like, "Oh well, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to be a businessman."
Okay.
And really, what came from that, and why I said that, because there was a time in my young childhood where people would ask, "Hey, what do you want to be?" I said, "A fireman or a policeman."
Right.
Right. And then I got a little older. I was into sports. You know, football was my favorite. I love football, basketball. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a professional athlete. You're right. I'm going to be a basketball player, football player. But, you know, I wanted to be a linebacker, and I was small. I wanted to be 6'2", 250.
Yeah.
And that wasn't happening for me. So I then went on to basketball. I thought I could be a point guard. That didn't happen. But as I was growing up, and my dad's situation, my dad sold drugs. My uncle sold drugs, right? Even my grandmother sold drugs, right? And friends or the young kids in my community who I would hang around, some of them were selling drugs.
Yeah.
And I was like, short.
Okay.
And then what ended up happening is they, unfortunately, they get in trouble, right? They may get shot, or some get killed.
Right.
Others go to jail. So I thought, wow, that's not good, because sooner or later it comes to an end.
Yeah.
It's short-lived.
Yeah.
Then I was like, nah, that's not going to be for me. And then it became like a pride thing. Oh, it's almost like everybody in the community is doing this to make money and live the life that they want to live. I said, I'm going to be different. I'm going to go legit, and I'm going to be a businessman. And I'm going to prove and show that that's not the only route that you can take. You can do this and be successful. And that became my mission.
Okay.
Plus I was a big fan of the movie Wall Street with Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Oh man, on Wall Street, the stockbroker.
Right.
Oh man, he had the sharp $3,000 suits. And I was like, oh man, I want to do that. And that began my quest to being a business person. Also, my grandmother, she was a business lady.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, on my father's side, his dad was a bar owner.
Okay.
So they were both entrepreneurs and business owners. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be a businessman. That's what I'm going to do. So I pursued that. And I set my mind on that. Oh, I'm going to college. I'm going to college. I'm going to take business. And that's what happened. When I was 17, I moved out of Philadelphia. I moved to a city called Lake Oswego, Oregon.
Okay.
Lake Oswego was a great a city. It was I would say upper middle class area, and I just loved it. The air was different.
Right, it's beautiful.
The environment was different.
Yeah.
I was living on a house in the hill, and I was like, wow, yeah, this is the life that I like. So I got to see both lifestyles. I got to see, coming from the inner city, what it's like to live that and go through some of the traumas and some of the hardships.
Yeah.
But then I moved to Lake Oswego, where, oh man, houses $300,000, $400,000, and this is 97, 98.
Right.
I'm going to school with children of entrepreneurs, athletes, ex-professional basketball players, and I'm like, wow, I can believe it. This is, I can do this.
Yeah.
Now how that happened is my uncle at the time, he was dating a woman whose mother lived in Oregon. Okay. Miss Alice, and she had taken in kids before. Okay. So my uncle thought that, hey, in Philly, Shy, you're hanging with the wrong people. You're waking up too early. I'm waking up 6 a.m, and I'm getting on the L and a train just to get to, basketball practice. He just thought it was too much, and he thought that I would have a better lifestyle. I would be able to grow more if I was out of the environment, which was true. And so that's how that happened. He asked Miss Alice, she said yes, and I'm forever grateful for that, because that was probably the first ball to drop that really changed the direction of my life. Okay. Because at this time, even though I was going to high school, I wasn't paying attention in class. Okay. I was probably getting straight D's and F's. Yeah. And me, I'm telling myself, I'm going to college.
When did you become more focused?
Once I left.
Oh, in Oregon.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because you got to understand, there wasn't the same pressures. peer pressure around.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't the same
environment was obviously different. Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
In Oregon, I was playing basketball. I was on a basketball team. You know, I have is a school of 1,100 kids. I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
But the basketball players I'm surrounded with, it's less trouble to get into. I was focused more. Everybody around me was focused on the same thing, and that did everything. 180-degree turn, got my grades up.
Okay, good.
And I graduated, and I was able to go to college.
Wow.
You know, so.
And then how long after college till you started your first business?
I would say once I graduated. Well, when I was in college, I was working.
Okay.
I started to work at the bank.
I'm sure.
Yeah, my cousin at the time, she was working at the bank, Citizens Bank. It was Mellon Bank at that time. Now it's Citizens. They were bought, and they had a summer program where, you know, you could do seasonal work. So I became a seasonal bank teller.
Yeah.
So during Christmas break, I would be able to work at the bank and learn the ropes of a banker. So I did that all through college, and I would say once I graduated college, I then went to work downtown Philly for a company called First Investors.
Okay.
And of course, I was a finance major, right? So my goal was being a financial planner, financial advisor.
Right.
First step to that is getting my licenses.
Yeah.
So that's where I was able to get my life insurance license.
Okay.
And I got my Series 6 and 63 securities license, which allowed me to sell mutual funds, variable contracts, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did that for a few years. I didn't start my own business until 2006. I was 25.
Wow. Tell us what all industries and businesses you've been in, and what's the commonality? What's the core of those businesses?
So, commonality of businesses I've been in, finance, banking.
Yeah.
Currently, healthcare, childcare.
Yeah. And the healthcare I know is fitness, right? And I've got a passion with our fitness and physical therapy. Yep.
Started another business, trucking.
Okay.
So the commonality, you know, that I see by having all of those businesses, they are all, I believe, businesses that no matter what's going on in the world, they are needed services.
Right.
You know, you think about real estate is a necessity.
Sure.
People need a place to live, stay, roof over their head. Fitness is so important. People need outlets.
Yeah.
People want to be healthy. So no matter what's going on in the world, people will work out. They'll take care of their body. Mm-hmm. They'll make nutrition and what they're feeding their body a priority. Healthcare. As the baby boomers get older, and I get older, you get older, what I'm finding is that people, you know, life is about people. And when you have a lack of human interaction, your life can be long, it can be lonely, it can be sad. So providing that service of companionship for people, someone to talk to and just listen, you know, that listens to you is vital as we start to get older. And if you don't have family or your kids are not around, that service is important, right? You know, I believe it's part of mental health. What else? I believe that's it. Child care.
Child care, yeah.
People are having kids every day, and the thing about life is busy for everyone.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people have 2 and 3 jobs. They have many different businesses, and they're having kids as well. Yeah. So the children need to be cared for. They need to be watched over.
Yeah.
So, you know, parents, you know, they have a job to do. They have to provide, and they need a place to, you know, to make sure their kids are safe.
Yeah.
And that's where child care comes in. So these are businesses that are necessities.
Yeah.
Whether the country is thriving or we in recession, these businesses are still going to be able to maintain, make money, and be needed.
For sure. Shaheed, so good. Appreciate it, man. That's an amazing journey, and you've accomplished so much. Yeah, I'm so glad to know you, and appreciate it all. We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back, and we're going to hear how Shaheed gets through the challenging moments, how he did that to accomplish all that he's done, and also how he avoids burnout. So we'll be right back.
Un ataque cerebral puede ser fácil de detectar. Su ser querido no logra hablar o quizás no puede moverse, pero existe otro síntoma de ataque cerebral que muchos de nosotros no vemos. Se llama negligencia espacial y puede ocurrir durante o después de un ataque cerebral, causando movimientos visuales distorsionados. Afortunadamente, existe una solución que utiliza tecnología óptica basada en prismas durante la rehabilitación. Si usted o su ser querido experimenta un ataque cerebral, pregúntele a su doctor sobre la negligencia espacial. Encuentre más información en kesslerfoundation.org.
Weeds. I have you surrounded. You just gonna stand there? Or are you gonna take your lawn back?
We're gonna take it back.
We're gonna take it back.
With Scott's Turf Builder triple action, it gets 3 jobs done at once. Kills weeds, prevents crabgrass, and keeps your lawn growing strong. Glorious!
No, no.
Get a bag of Scott's Triple Action today. It's guaranteed.
Feed your lawn.
And Doug.
Hey, man. Nice base. Clearly you're a safe driver. You could save hundreds for safe driving with Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Woo! We gotta go again.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I learned how quickly everything could be taken away. 1 minute, I was playing college football. The next, I was paralyzed. I'm Eric LeGrand. I believe I will walk again, but also know what I can do now. I'm applying my love of the game as a sports broadcaster and inspiring others along the way. Only my abilities matter. Visit Kessler Foundation on Facebook and tell us your abilities. And go to KesslerFoundation.org, where only abilities matter.
Un ataque cerebral puede ser fácil de detectar. Su ser querido no logra hablar o quizás no puede moverse, pero existe otro síntoma de ataque cerebral que muchos de nosotros no vemos. Se llama negligencia espacial y puede ocurrir durante o después de un ataque cerebral, causando movimientos visuales distorsionados. Afortunadamente, existe una solución que utiliza tecnología óptica basada en prismas durante la rehabilitación. Si usted o su ser querido experimenta un ataque cerebral, pregúntele a su doctor sobre la negligencia espacial. Encuentre más información en kesslerfoundation.org.
Weeds. I have you surrounded. You just gonna stand there? Or are you gonna...
Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, got a tail that's brown. Green Sally up.
Welcome back to Moving Mountains. I'm Dr. Lance Knaub. I'm here with Shaheed Colen. Shaheed, thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem.
So much good stuff. So tell us, you've accomplished so many things, and you've had a lot of challenges growing up in the city. And is there anything in particular in getting through these challenges you've identified that you can share with other people to get through?
Yeah,
low points, tough times.
Yeah, as I think about it, earlier in my life, it was all about. I felt as though I had something to prove.
Yeah.
Right, because when I was a child, and I really had a chip on my shoulder because my dad wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I felt slighted. I felt as, hey, my dad chose the streets over me.
Right.
And I didn't like that. And it was something in me that wanted to prove him wrong and everybody else who kind of thought that I wasn't going to be anything, or what I thought that my dad didn't care for me. He didn't care because he had the choice, but he chose to do something else. So that had me be like, well, you must not care for me. Yeah. So it was like, oh, I'm gonna show you. So earlier on, I had that burning inside of me to prove someone wrong, or show that, look, you made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
So a lot of my fire and being successful, it came from that. I wanted to show you that I was going to be successful, but also, like I said earlier, proving to not only myself but to others, you can have success doing something else.
Right.
You don't have to resort to selling drugs and doing all of that.
Yeah.
You can go on a journey and a quest to be a businessman and be successful and make things happen and create a great life for yourself and your family. So I had a couple of driving forces that whatever I came up against, that overruled it.
I love it.
It pushed me through.
Love that passion, and it's so obvious, that burning flame. And I love how you took the high road, you know, in the direction you went. So the next thing I want to ask you is, this is a mutual passion. I know that you're passionate about health and fitness. How do you, as an entrepreneur with multiple ventures, stay healthy, avoid burnout, and specifically, we always like to know how much sleep entrepreneurs get?
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
I get at least 7 hours.
Okay, good.
Majority of the time is 8.
Okay.
But no less than 7.
I love it.
And that is the key, right? Sleep is important. Sleep allows your body to grow. It allows your body to form. You know, it helps you recharge.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely sleep is key.
Okay.
What I'm putting in my body.
Okay.
Getting plenty of water.
Yeah.
Eating the right foods.
Right.
Taking the right nutrition. Getting my workout in. And then seeing those results. Because when I see my results, I get fired up even more.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it has me want to continue to repeat that cycle.
Okay.
You know, it keeps me fired up. Also, goals and ventures that I start and that I have.
Yeah.
You know, being connected to different communities and great individuals like yourself that's in the world doing amazing things. And I want to do amazing things as well.
Yeah, and you are.
So being connected to that energy,
right,
it keeps me going.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have me rest on my laurels.
Right.
It has me wanting to do more, knowing that I can do more, and pushing forward.
Okay. Anything with mental health that you do to, you know, meditation, mindset, any?
Yes.
Like
mental health, part of my workout.
Yeah.
Helps me with my, you know, mental health. You know, I had some challenging times in 2021, 22.
Yeah.
Just, you know, as far as business is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
business, relationships,
right,
things wasn't perfect.
Of course.
You know, sometimes I would be down, but, you know, what helped me through it was my workout. I get my workout in,
Yeah.
and my workout is a me versus me
Totally.
mentality and experience.
Yeah.
And if I'm going hard on my workout, I'm pushing through, I'm getting tired and fatigued, but I keep going, I give everything I got. Oh, I feel amazing afterwards.
Right.
And that has me up. It has me positive and confident that now, once I leave here, whatever I got going on in the world, I can take it on that much better. I can deal with it because I'm that much stronger based on what I just put myself through.
Nice job with your
You know,
lifestyle.
So,
Yeah.
you know, so the workout is definitely key for me for my mental health. Also, my personal development.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Will Latif. He has a personal development class every morning where people, they pour out their, you know, their hearts, and they talk about their ups and their downs, and it has me analyze me like, wow, I don't have it as bad as some people, but wow, I went through that too, and I can identify. And it has me just being positive about where I'm at and what I can do to keep moving forward. And I'm not alone. There's other people that's dealing with the same things, and it has me feeling like I'm not dealing with what I'm dealing with by myself. It is someone else that's dealing with it as well. And guess what? It gives me hope that I can get through it. So that's big on my mental health as well.
I love that. Speaking of personal development and growth, what life lessons have you learned from all these businesses and for all the aspiring entrepreneurs and even existing entrepreneurs?
Life lessons I learned is that number one, you know, it's not going to be easy.
Sure.
It's about learning. You're going to be tested.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, what I learned that in a nutshell, everything is about management. How well are you able to manage the circumstances and situations, even in life?
Right.
How well are you able to manage, you know, the ups, the downs, the disappointments? You know, do you just let them fester? And as Jim Rome says, allow the weeds to keep growing, right? Or do you manage? Do you cut them weeds down when you need to, right? Do you take 3 days off of the gym or 3 weeks, right? So it's really about management and not allowing the business to get out of reach, having control of it so that your weeds don't grow, bro. You can keep a better management on it. Keeping updated with your, you know, with your paperwork and, you know, with your taxes, you know, with your receipts, right? With your properties, with your tenants, right? So really, what I've learned is really being a really good manager,
right,
is definitely, to serve you well in business.
I love it. And that's a great choice of words, to manage. And it's almost like abdicate versus delegate, right? It's more about being active and proactive versus reactive and passive.
Exactly.
So good. So if you were to really put together, boil down a lot of your life and business thoughts for people that want to achieve the highest levels of success and really, follow your lead, what would you say to them?
I would say just do it.
Okay.
Right? Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just do it, because what I've seen now, you can have a plan. Oh yeah, I have this plan. I wanted to go this way and that way.
Right.
The reality of it, it probably won't. It probably won't go that way. And the excitement is in the journey.
Yeah.
The excitement is in creating in the moment. I believe that's where you get the fullness of life, the fullness of what you're doing. It's not about planning. I mean, planning can be good, but what I found is that when I was a really big planner, of course you have to have certain things in place, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect, and don't expect it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But the excitement in the journey is when things come up that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
How are you going to react to it? Because
Right.
that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity to put your creativity in it, put your wisdom and knowledge in it, lean on your network, your community to help you out.
Yeah.
So I would say just do it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Don't be fearful. Don't be anxious. Believe that you are enough, and whatever comes up, you have what it takes to make it happen. Because that's when it shifted for me.
Yeah.
That I was afraid that I wasn't enough to get it done. I was afraid that after a certain point, if things came up, I don't know how I'm gonna do it again. When I first started having success with real estate, I thought that it was, I was lucky. Oh, I was lucky. I was really motivated because I had no other choice but to make it happen. Oh, this was luck, right? But when I, through personal development, when I gained confidence in me, I believed in me, I believe I would say I'm unstoppable, because no matter what happens, I'll figure it out, right? I'll figure it out how to make it happen, and that's what has happened. So that's what I would say. You're going to have to figure it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I love that phrase too, figure it out. Someone said that to me recently, and they were like an immigrant who had become a physician, and he just kept repeating that to me, like, I figured it out, and you're just going to have to figure it out. And there's a lot of wisdom just to that phrase. So much good stuff. How can people get in touch with any of your organizations where they have needs, follow you, all those things? Definitely tell everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm on social medias. Facebook, Shaheed Colen, ShaheedColen. I'm on Instagram at Financial Fitness LLC, as well as Sha24 Fit for my health and nutrition. And yeah, I'm always available. Have any questions, any concerns, want more information, you can always find me on those platforms.
And the best thing is to reach out to you right on those platforms?
Yes.
Like DM you and...
Yeah, DM me. That's the best way. DM me. You can call me.
Okay.
But yeah, on those platforms.
So generous of you. Thanks so much for sharing your journey and all your insights. So motivating, so inspiring. Thank you. Looking forward to keeping in touch. And
yeah, thanks again.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It was a blast hanging out with you and just talking. I believe talking is therapeutic. Sharing your journey in life is therapeutic. I remember there was a time when I didn't want to share.
For sure.
I don't know if I was ashamed or I just didn't want people to know what I had been through.
And even sharing the not just the top of the mountains, the good stuff, right? The hard stuff, I feel, is really where a lot of value comes in, and motivation and inspiration for all the future leaders. So thank you, Shaheed.
Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please join us again next week. And definitely check out all of Shaheed's organizations. Check him on social. Reach out to him, and he'll definitely be a big service. All right. See you soon.
Sally Hood green salad down. Last done start, gotta tell is brown.